about a young snail that learns being famous is not all it's cracked up to be. In the moonlit garden of 16 Slug Street, the snails are busy. Slowly, they munch and crunch the tasty, tender leaves of the potted plants and juicy lettuce. They're all happy snails. Well, nearly all of them. Oscar Slime Glider was not happy. "I'm tired of sleeping all day," he said. "I'm fed up with eating all night. I'm bored with being greenish, grayish, brownish. I want other snails to look at me and say, 'Wow, there's Oscar Slime Glider. I want to be different. I want to be famous. Slime my autograph book.' Oh, Oscar, he just oozes with charm. He's really come out of his shell." "Nonsense," said Oscar's dad. "What's wrong with sleeping all day? What's wrong with eating all night?" "And what's wrong with being greenish, grayish, brownish?" said Oscar's mom. "Your 25 brothers and sisters never complain." "We never complain." But Oscar was determined. "The wise old snail will know what to do," he declared. So off he went. "What do you want to be famous for?" asked the wise old snail. "Can you paint, dance, play the guitar?" Oscar shook his head. "Being famous isn't always easy, you know," said the wise old snail. "Are you sure about this?" Oscar nodded. "Very well then," said the wise old snail. "You're going to need a bit of magic." And he told Oscar what to do. Oscar waited patiently for the sun to rise. Then he turned around 3 times and cried, "Slime, slime, slither, slither, fairy god snail, please come hither." Poof! The fairy god snail appeared. "So, you want to be famous?" she asked. Oscar wiggled eagerly. "Yes, please." "There's only one thing to do then," replied the fairy god snail. "I shall grant you 3 wishes, but choose carefully," she warned. Then she waved her magic wand and disappeared. Oscar closed his eyes tightly and made a wish. Slowly, he opened his eyes. "Look at me," he gasped. "I'll be famous for being the most marvelous mollusk. I'm a stunning, stupendous, spectacular snail. Everyone will admire me." And sure enough, someone was admiring Oscar. Up above, a hungry bird smiled to himself. "That snail looks like a terrifically tasty treat," he thought, plunging down. "Get your greedy beak off me," Oscar wailed. "I wish I was bigger than you. Much, much bigger." Oscar landed in town. He was bigger than a bus. He was bigger than 6 buses glued together. "Call the police! Call the fire department! Call the army!" people yelled. All around him, tiny people were screaming and running away. "It's horrible!" they cried. As the sun began to sink, Oscar slithered into the woods to hide. "Now I'm famous for being frightening," he said, "and I have no friends." Oscar began to cry. "I want to go home to Mom and Dad and my 25 brothers and sisters. I wish I was just ordinary again." And just like that, he was home. "Where have you been, Oscar?" asked his dad. "We've been awfully worried about you." "We thought you might have been squished," said his mom. "Now it's dinner time. I've got some tasty, tender leaves just for you." My favorite," said Oscar. "Maybe being ordinary isn't so bad after all. But sometimes, just sometimes, even an ordinary snail can do extraordinary things." 6 weeks later, Oscar was in the paper for rescuing his mom. "Oscar is a brave and caring snail," she reported. Now Oscar is a shell-lebrity.